Gotta do it again. This is the YouTube button. That start stream button on YouTube is dumb. Now I hear the feedback. All right, Mr. Deadman, the Demonstone Podcast. You also have SK and Tammy G, also part of the Demonstone Podcast. I don't know why I said it that way. Anyway, we're talking about Let the Right One In. So, yeah. Who wants to start?
What a stupid movie.
Oh, man.
It was a decent movie.
It was good.
So
It was good.
many,
I don't
like,
really think that. I just thought I'd start off with a controversial point position.
Worst movie
I just-
ever.
they
Oh
did
my
want
god.
Emptiness.
And not a single dinosaur. What
Yeah.
the hell?
Right?
And no tits and ass either. Damn it.
No tits, no ass. Let's see. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The other thing we do here, which I'll remind people, get some Maker's Mark. Let's make that happen. Yeah. Anyway, so what do you guys think about this film? I mean, I think we all watched it today, so it's fresh in our memory.
Well, first of all, I like watching Swedish language films because I lived in Sweden for a little while as a young man, a couple of years, and I still have a little bit of Swedish that I can recognize, but in seeing the environments, it brings back a lot of memories. It's really cool. But as a film, it's got some interesting takes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as solid as it could have been. I think it could have been better. Could have been a lot better, but it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's got some interesting moments.
So it has some strengths, some weaknesses. Okay, we'll get into that. What about you, Tammy? What do you think of it?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a bit slow.
Mhm.
But overall, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a very decent vampire movie. I mean, it kind of reminded me of kind of like Interview with the Vampire, but with kids and modern, you know?
Yeah.
It was very slow paced, but it wasn't boring. It was...
Stuff happened. It was slow paced, but things kept happening to keep pulling you along.
Right.
So that was good.
And there was that hook.
I mean, you weren't. It was only a few minutes into it when you see some guy abduct a stranger on a snowy path in the middle of the night.
Right. Which,
Granted, I'm saying middle of the night, but fuck, it could have been 4 PM. It gets
Right.
dark that early.
right. We see blood very early in the film, which is definitely a pro. You need that in a what's going to be a horror film or a vampire film. Which, by the way, did y'all feel that this was a horror film? Would you call it a horror film?
No.
Yeah.
See, I'm torn on that too.
I didn't feel it was horror. I mean, of course, there's like a element, but like it wasn't like scary.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I mean, I guess because she's a vampire and there's blood and there's death. Yeah, but
I mean, I don't know how else to classify it.
Yeah, I mean, me either. But I don't know. Like, there's so many movies out nowadays that they say is horror that I don't feel is horror.
Yeah.
And this kind of falls into that for me. It's kind of a night.
Well,
I don't know what to call it.
There is not much tension going on in this one. I will say that.
right.
No, I mean, there's no like jump scares. There's no like. There's really no build up either. I mean, it kind of just flows.
Right.
I guess.
And there's not much peril.
Right.
Yeah.
The
I mean, who's in danger in this movie? The boy
Right.
might get beat up.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I have trouble with this one. Us calling it horror because it's like it's more of like a coming of age film, but with a vampire
Vampires.
or a bio flick with vampires.
And you can't even really call it suspenseful because it wasn't suspenseful.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody's after the vampire girl.
Which
There's no threat to her anywhere.
Well, except for the end, kind of with the guy that she.
A
killed
guy
his
goes snooping.
Yeah.
the guy
He
sneaks
doesn't even
around.
know what he's looking for.
Right. Which, by the way, I found to be kind of weird because the killings are all happening around the apartment complex. I mean, it can't be that difficult to figure out.
Right.
It. Someone sees that it was a girl and doesn't do anything. Right. I mean, there was that scene did happen.
Right.
Unless I just imagined it.
Right.
And for a chick that can fly, and we don't know to the extent of her, her range of flying, but she can definitely get herself up and down a few flights of, stories in a building
Mhm.
with ease. Why does she hunt so close to home?
Right. I would imagine.
And apparently she's got a lot of years of experience. She should know better.
Yeah, and the furthest she went was what, the hospital.
Yeah.
Which was
But it
just-
was to her caregiver.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like okay. Which, by the way, you mentioned that the first scene where they draw blood. I have a problem with that scene too. Which that guy was supposed to be what her, I guess, Renfield sort of guy. I don't know. It was either when you watch the movie, it's like it could be her father. It's some sort of caregiver. It's someone who you don't really know from watching this film, right? But okay, he goes out there.
Eventually you kind of get the idea that he's not actually her father, but he is kind of, for reasons never explained, he's obtaining blood for her.
Right. Which, in the way
They never
he did
explain
that,
why. They never explain why.
I know he did it at night, but if you saw that, if you remember that shot, you could see cars passing in the distance.
Yeah, he never went very far off the path.
Right. It's like this would be the world's worst Dexter. Like, he would be a horrible serial killer. I don't know how he didn't get caught before. It's like, I mean, it's like, was he doing this at a park? I mean, there's lights nearby.
Well, it's a walking path, right? It's a jogging bike path. There's a million miles of those things all over Sweden.
Yeah.
And they do go through woods quite a bit.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
but, go a little ways off the path.
Right?
Jesus.
Right?
And I love how he just hangs the victims upside down and drains their blood. And that's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, his murder kit is really not very smart either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could do a lot better with, an IV needle.
Right?
Yeah.
And,
No,
pump,
question.
and you don't need a funnel.
When
No.
he was doing that last guy before he poured the acid on his face, like, was his intentions the whole time to do that, or was he going to pour the acid on the other guy's face to make him unrecognizable?
I think it was for the kid.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
And
it
why
was-
was he always after kids?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I guess now we can talk about one thing I have a complaint about this film. I think you might share too. This movie, it feels like it only barely scratches the surface on the source material. This movie's based off of a book, and
Okay.
it barely digs into anything, barely explains any of the characters. The vampire, this guy that's supposed to be watching her. This guy that's watching her is like a pedophile. He goes after kids, and the reason why he's with her is because of ill intentions. And apparently, from what I've read,
That seems like a not very smart move.
Ill intentions to her?
well, yeah, but she doesn't let him do it. She, okay, from what I've read since I haven't read the book yet, but from what I heard of it, it sounds like secondhand information, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate. She uses him as a way to go fetch blood. In return,
Right.
she will sleep with him, not with him in a intimate way, but like in the same bed, and let him be near her. and that's it.
Well, I mean, her snatch was sewn up anyway, so it's
Yeah,
not like he could
which
have done anything. For her.
Is another thing that's not explained in this film at all. At all.
No.
Because,
Yeah, and then the fact that she did, like SK said, she says she's not. She says she's not a female, which, okay, then what the fuck are you?
Right. Which, by the way, that line, as we said during the I guess the warm up here, you know, like the LGBTQ community, they embrace it as, okay, this is our film. It's like, we said that I'm not a girl. Didn't say I'm a boy. She's a vampire. She's like a monster. She's nothing. In fact, even in the book, and even I think in the remake, she calls herself nothing. She's nothing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
she's
that's the way
a
I
female
think
eunuch.
she's a monster.
Yes, which
She's not.
is what the scar's for, because
Right.
apparently she was circumcised, or not circumcised. Sorry,
Well, but
castrated.
maybe she was. I mean, and that leaves it open too, because okay, so did she have a dick or did she have a vagina?
Oh, I mean, there
She's
was
got little seedling boobs.
yeah, you could tell she was supposed to be.
She's got the shape of a little girl.
Yeah, well, and that's what I felt
Yeah.
too.
Hey,
And I think it would be too far to go saying that, you know, they wanted to do this whole non-gender thing, because I don't think that was that big in 2008.
no, not in 2008. Thanks for the super chat, Becky. I'll put the video on, and then what else? Oh, for the Maker's Mark though, we're gonna need more than $2. I'm not some cheap bitch. I'm not a cheap
Yeah, you
drunk
are.
tonight. Okay,
Come on, Becky.
not tonight. Come on.
$5 more, Becky.
All right. Man, so now we're moving into gripes, complaints about the film. And people love it. People praise this as like one of the best vampire films. And it's,
Well, so unique elements to this story. One, she's as far as we know, she's all by herself as a vampire.
Right.
There's no nest of them that she is, you know, even knows about to be separated from.
Right.
right.
So she's totally on her own. Now we don't know how old she is. She just says she's been 12 a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool, and it's also that she's a child. I've seen other vampire movies where there are children, but they're really minor characters.
Right.
Right.
Except for like Interview with the Vampire, which I said would have reminded me of, because you have a child vampire, which was a pretty big character. It was kind of important to that movie. Sorry. Oh, two big
For a
shots.
completely different reason, though, too.
Yeah, completely different. Though I
Like
did.
Oh, thanks, Becky.
Thank you. Oh, that's two shots. Okay. Though, you know, once you realize that, of course, you know she's a vampire, you know, as watching it. But then you're like, wait. Like, just going based on this movie, not going based on the book. Like, if all you got was this movie, be like, wait, then what
Right.
happened to her family? Who's this guy? That can't be her dad. Doesn't make any sense. Could have never been her dad. You know?
But I thought it was her dad.
Right.
So-
I did too at first.
Well, I mean, it's a reasonable assumption when you see, you know, a middle-aged man and a preteen girl living in the same apartment. It's a reasonable assumption.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
you don't see that and go, "Oh man, is he getting blood for that girl?"
Yeah.
Right? That would not be the number one assumption for sure. I don't know. There was just too much left open. Like, okay, we get it. The little boy is
Oh.
bullied and he's kind of a nerd, but what about her?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd she come from? Why is she a vampire?
Right.
Why did she choose him? Why didn't she want to kill him? Like, there's so many open questions.
Yeah. Which you would only understand after having watched the movie maybe like twice, and then reading. Actually, you know what? It doesn't really matter how many times you really watch it, because the only way you would really know it is if you actually read about, I guess, the source material and what people were saying. Oh, this is what the scene meant. Because having watched it twice before reading about the stuff, I didn't really pick up that she was trying to manipulate him from the very beginning. That she was like,
Into what? into being her provider.
Right. Because just, I mean, the way she was even positioned in the scene when they met, how she was high up on the jungle gym, like a predator, like just watching. It's like, okay, it's like little things like that. I guess.
But I never really got that feeling like she was trying to manipulate him into anything. Like I just felt like she had a connection to him.
Yeah.
And why does she need a helper anyway? For fuck's sake, she's perfectly capable of hunting on her own.
I totally understand. It's kind of like but it's like the Dracula and the Renfield thing. Why does Dracula even need Renfield? He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that person around. Come on.
I think she had that guy doing it for her so she wouldn't get caught doing it.
Yeah.
So it would fall on her. But I don't think that's what she was looking for from the boy.
I don't think so either. I think she was looking for a age appropriate friend.
Yeah.
I mean, looking for a little bit of understanding.
Because she was so extremely what's the word? I'm protective over him. Anyway,
well, she was protective, but it didn't really seem I don't know. Her emotion was kind of deadpan, and then it was like, eh. It's like, okay, like she never really never was really concerned, other than just fight back, and would praise him whenever he does fight back. Okay, got to be strong.
And she said, "I'll help you if you need my help."
Oh yeah, she'll protect him.
I mean, that was from the very get-go.
Yeah. But it doesn't really mean that they're like friends necessarily, or it could be friends for a purpose.
Did you say that?
What do you do? What do you do with your friends? Don't you go out and drain people's blood and behead bullies and shit like that? That's what friends do for each other.
Right. It's like an upgraded familiar. It's like we'll be friends so she's been around for a long time, right? So she's seen plenty of people come and go. In fact, the old guy is probably not the first one who's aged out and retired and is no longer any good. So she's been. I was, thinking she's been through this routine before. So, which kind of makes sense why she would be protective of him, but also when she would seem kind of like stilted or.
I think that she was standoffish because she didn't know how he was going to react if he knew who she really was.
Well,
and I think that she felt a connection to him and didn't want to ruin that. I don't think it was like, oh, I don't really care about you. I think she really cared about him and didn't want to ruin it by him finding out that she's a monster.
See,
it's just like dating. But you can't go revealing your, secret stuff on your first few dates.
Right. Dating like a player. Because I don't think she's worried about ruining the connection necessarily. I think she's worried about exposing herself too soon, in case maybe he flips out. But she's watching.
But what if he did
from the very beginning? If he did, she would have a way to deal with it.
You have a really screwed up sense of anything.
No, rewatch it. Look,
I did watch it, and I think you're wrong.
Well, you can even read the book. That's what's going on, apparently. But just going based on the film, I mean, I guess it's like I guess that's how I see it. That's how I read it. Like is.
Why did she try to befriend the loner outsider and not one of the cool kids?
Because you can manipulate the loner, the outsider.
No,
you can
because she is a loner outside.
Yes.
That's why they connected. Oh my God, Jesse.
They connected, yes, but you can manipulate. It's not that.
It's not about manipulation. It's about being understood.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
And being understood is one of the greatest human drives that we have. It might even be stronger than the sex drive.
But the thing is, I don't think she cares about being understood, because
I
don't think so. There's nothing that shows that she does care about being understood in this film.
Well, being a sociopath, what would you know?
I mean, in this film, based on it, what we got here, she's been around for I don't know how long. She's probably been through one or two caregivers. Probably, this is probably not her first
don't know
one.
that.
She disposed that she didn't really care about that one guy when he messed up, or that scene where she's freaking out on him, like I have to do everything myself and all this stuff, because he failed. Yeah, she was ready to cast him out to the wolves.
Yeah, but that's different. She saw this boy, and she probably saw something in him, and that's why she pursued him the way that
she
she did.
saw
Not to
someone she can
manipulate
use.
him.
I'm saying she saw someone.
No, what
Hey,
did
you
she
know what?
use him for, though? What did he do for her? Nothing.
At the very
Right.
at the very end of the film, in the train, she's in the little box. She's in the box. He's tapping
Yes.
on it. She's in that. He
Right.
is her new Renfield. He is her new quote caregiver. It'll be
No, he is her companion.
I would say yes if she turned him into a vampire, but she doesn't want him to be another vampire. She doesn't.
Because
She
she
doesn't.
doesn't want to ruin his life.
Maybe. I think she doesn't
No,
want
I
competition.
definitely feel that she had feelings for that boy.
Maybe.
Absolutely agree
I
with
don't-
Tammy on this one.
Vampires don't feel.
You totally missed the mark.
I don't think so.
Vampires! Oh my god! How are you gonna? Are you a vampire?
Vampires
You know,
don't feel.
Can you
That,
imagine how lonely that
no
little girl
vampires
is
have
in the world
feelings.
that she's
There
in?
you go.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What about Kate Beckinsale?
Oh, well, she.
Right? She had feelings and emotions, and she
Ah.
felt love.
Well, she can give love, but
She
no.
even liked a werewolf hybrid,
Mhm.
for fuck's sakes.
Wow, you're
She was into bestiality.
so wrong on this movie.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
I do. SK and I are both against you, dude.
That doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah,
In fact, you're both wrong. But that's
it actually
okay.
does mean we're right.
That's okay, though.
I think
That's
we're
okay.
right.
All
I
right.
think that most people who've seen this movie get the same vibe that we do. I think that you lack so much emotion that you can't even see it when it's right in front of your face.
See, now, because I have a difference of opinion, you guys are taking, it must be something within you. Man, I'm telling you, she sees him as something to use.
She didn't use him.
But
She did not use him.
she's
What did he
going
use
to.
her? She killed those boys, right? For him. To
Yeah.
save
And
him.
that was after she left.
It's the long con. It's the long plan to keep him.
She didn't have to come back to save him.
Oh, so the other thing is, look at this. So he's her pet. He's like a cat.
Oh my god.
Then why didn't she invite him to go with her from the start? And they wouldn't have had that
Well-
final scene pool.
That just
Thank
seems
you.
like that
her
just seems
coming
like
back shows you that she cared about him.
about her cat.
She didn't have to do that.
She doesn't love him. She just likes him like a cat, and that's what
Oh
I'm
my
telling you.
god.
I'm telling you, she doesn't love him. Vampires
I
can't
think
love.
Yeah, she did.
No.
I think-
If she would have, if she had said when she had told him, "I have to leave now,"
Mm-hmm.
all she would have had to do was say, "Come with me," and he would have done it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it would make for, I guess, a bad film. You got to have something at the
She
end.
left.
So let's have a scene where the bullies try to kill him, and then she comes in last minute to save the day, which is like, okay, well,
That's showing her love for him. Are you like? Do you not know anything about grand gestures? Probably not.
I don't know.
Jesse thinks a grand
I
gesture. is
don't
taking a
think
big
she
picture.
really loves him. I think she's just
I
trying
do.
to.
I saw it from the very beginning.
Okay, but I don't see it. But
Okay, doesn't mean you're right.
yeah,
What does your wife say?
he hasn't seen it. But okay,
But
we could agree to disagree and
Sure, let's
move on to any other
So,
points.
What about this scene where the stupid bitch who turned into a vampire and all those cats attacked her? Like, what was that?
that was such a bizarre nothing.
Right?
Cats?
I was like,
Where did that whole thing go with that whole gang of friends? And one of them gets killed by the girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then apparently it's a sister of one of the guys gets bit but not dead, and so she turns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why was that even in the movie? Any of it?
it had no purpose.
no purpose at all. The woman being turned, getting attacked by cats, and then burning up from a couple of sun rays. It added exactly nothing to the story except for minutes.
And
Well,
did
it did
they
kind
ever
of
even
explain-
catch on that she's a vampire?
It kind of explained the vampire part, though. It kind of explained like, oh yeah, so if someone is bit and isn't killed, they'll turn into a vampire. So,
But they didn't elaborate on that at all.
So one thing that this film did is it did a lot of showing and not telling. Like it would just show you things, right?
Which is good, which I'm always in favor of.
Right. So it wouldn't outright tell you, oh, this person's now a vampire, but you could pick it up based on. I mean, this movie could have just been a silent film, really, honestly, and you could pick up on just like the way, they interacted with each other. So she got bit. She's a vampire. The bizarre part. So she's feeding. She's struggling with or I guess her transformation or changes. Okay. She killed someone. It looked like. And then she goes back to the apartment to go after her husband, who just, I guess, was it same night or night before, pretty much told her that she's cold. She's an ice queen. So now she's going to kill him. Okay. But then the cats attack her. I guess cats hate vampires. I never realized that. Cats hate vampires.
That was completely pointless. Like they're I mean, I could see the cats like running away from her or like hissing.
Right.
But them all jumping on her like that was the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
I don't
Ever.
agree
And
with that either.
and then clinging to her.
But why?
Yeah.
Why would cats run away?
Well, they could be afraid, right?
Cats
So,
sense
I
evil,
like that.
we
I like
know
that.
that.
Say that again.
Cats sense evil. Like they're very
Okay.
psychic animals.
Right.
So
And
I
I liked that part, that they were reacting to the girl and then the woman when she was turned. I liked
Yeah.
that they reacted, but the attacking was
Stupid.
comical. It's just nonsense.
I thought it was all right. What, you just want them just to run away?
Yes, that's what they
Yeah,
do.
back up.
But how do you know
Back
cats
up.
run away from vampires? See, cats run away from
Cats run
vampires.
away.
They always
from
do when I
evil.
see them.
Any horror movie you've ever fucking watched, they'll hiss and growl and fucking run away.
So you want it to be like a trope, or I mean, there's a complaint either way. I mean, you're gonna be like, oh, I mean,
Okay, like
I
in
don't
the beginning of the movie with the white cat when he was buying candy for them,
mm-hmm,
how the white cat growled and hissed,
mm-hmm.
and that was it. Like that was appropriate because the
Right.
cat recognized that she was something not human.
Right.
That's appropriate. But
Yes.
10 cats jumping on the damn bitch and attacking her and eating
Well,
her.
that apartment had a
Sorry.
bunch of cats in it, and she was
That
about.
was stupid
Oh,
as
wait.
fuck.
Wait, did you pick up on when the vampire is about to pounce her in that thing? It starts making cat sounds, right? You notice that it starts making like these very feral sounds, right? Did you pick up on that?
No.
No.
Okay, rewatch the film. When they're doing
No.
when she goes into a vampire form,
doing
she's
that.
she growls like. Okay, the scene where the guy finds her in the tub, she's like breathing like a lot like a cat or something, like a beast. All right, she's not.
Well, she's a
breathing
beast. She's a vampire.
right, but it's not your like typical vamp. I mean, I like that they have they burn up in the sun. I like that they have that. I didn't really know that cats don't like vampires, and cats would like try to hiss, but if they can't hiss, I guess they'll pounce. Fight or flight. I mean, that's I guess what's going on there.
SK, do you feel like he's disagreeing with everything that we're saying tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
For good reason. For good reason. I mean, look, I just have a
You're
different
just
take on
being
it.
obstinate tonight, Jesse.
I just have a different take. You know?
Yeah, but like 10 minutes ago when we brought up the cat scene, at first you're like, yeah, that was kind of dumb. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, no, it could have made sense.
I didn't say it was kind of dumb, but okay.
Yeah, it was really dumb.
And it was really fucking dumb.
Well, I don't agree, but that's okay. But it did take her to the hospital where because at that point you didn't really know what the vampire was going to do in the sun, right? You didn't know why they didn't like
Okay,
sunlight.
but they could have done something else with that scene. She could have tripped and fell down the fucking stairs. Maybe a cat run under her foot or something. But
I mean, y'all say it's pointless,
20
but
cats jumping
that's
on the
the
bed,
scenes.
eating her.
The scenes add context or information about what what the vampire
That
is. What's going on here?
added no information
There-
or anything.
I agree with Tammy. There's a million other ways to show her burst into flames. She didn't have
Yeah.
to be in a hospital for that.
No, she could have been in the apartment and it turned
Okay.
sunlight and she fucking burst into flames.
She could have been out wandering and on the lake when the sun came up, not knowing that there was going to be a problem because she's brand new, turned, and she's caught out way out in the open with nowhere to run.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I didn't really have a problem with it though. The boy drowning in the ice water though, like, was that? What happened there? Was that her? Who did that?
That was one of the victims they put in the ice water.
Okay.
Yeah, they showed him being dumped out there.
Okay, I must have missed that one. All right.
Yeah, back early on when
Early in the
she
film.
still had the handler guy,
Okay. I was like,
and
oh, man.
he dragged him over to some bridge thing and pushed him over the side. And remember, and he used that pole to push him out under the ice.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
All right.
By the way, that's a real thing in the winter in Sweden. Is they bring snowplows out onto the lakes and clear the ice of snow for people to skate.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the environment was pretty cool. I thought, not knowing too much about Sweden, it was interesting. It's like, man, it must suck over there. I hate snow. I could not stand it at all.
Oh my God, it's so relentless.
Mhm.
It's literally from like the end of November, first part of December, up and through April, is below freezing.
Man, I could not do that. I could not do that at all.
And dark, and then of course it turns light all the time. So it's a land of extremes.
Did y'all have a problem with how? Okay, I know the kid is like bullied and all that, but
Oscar.
Oscar, right? But did y'all ever have a moment where you're like, "Come on, kid, come on!" Like, you don't have go get a spine a little bit, just a little bit. Come on, come on.
Well, okay. So one thought that I had when I was watching this bullying is I was like, is bullying a part of every culture in the history of the world? I think it might be.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
I think it's always been a thing, and
Mhm.
it's a thing everywhere.
Right? You're not gonna change that. You're not gonna stop bullying. It's just gonna happen.
Well, yeah, because asshole parents raise asshole children.
Well,
But
Right. And the other thing is that his parents were divorced, so he got to see his dad like every other weekend or some
Mhm.
shit like that, right?
right.
So
He didn't
he's
have
not
that.
exactly.
yeah, go ahead.
Did-
Sorry.
He was just saying he's not a strong male influence in the boy's life.
No,
True.
and that explains a lot of why he took what he took from those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, at that age, I didn't think that was off. I think that was a good picture of what bullying is, because there's a ton of kids that, I mean, even nowadays killing themselves because of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that young of an age. So it's a problem,
Yeah, it definitely is.
and I think it showed it well.
And in the beginning of this film, we saw that he was channeling that to someplace dark, right? He was like stabbing trees. He wasn't taking out his knife. He was on the path.
He
to
was
being a
he
serial
was
killer.
a school shooter in training.
You're right. Oh God, this was after Columbine, man. He was. Don't trust this guy with a gun. Oh well, this movie's set in the
and
'80s, but the movie was okay.
And I think that's why she maybe been drawn to him too, because she was probably watching from afar the whole time
Right?
and probably saw a dark side in him or something in him that she thought maybe he would accept her.
I found it interesting, that once he actually came face to face with what she did, he stopped collecting articles. Did you
Yeah,
notice that?
Because
Yeah.
he knew. Yeah.
Like he was like, this isn't as glamorous as I thought it was. This is kind of
Right.
icky and
Mhm.
awful, uh, it really changed him, which is interesting that he still then decided to go with her.
Yeah, he liked her. I mean, he definitely had a strong connection with him, or with her. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But she didn't with him.
Oh, she did
Yeah.
as a cat, as a pet, Tammy.
Oh my god.
Who's the if he's the pet? Why
He's
is
her
she in the
pet.
box?
Well, because she can't go out in sunlight.
Trains run at night, dude.
It's this. It's the same reason why.
Especially in the winter.
It's like how
'Cause it's
Renfield will
always
carry the
night.
coffin. It's like how Renfield will carry the coffin. Her, you know, it's. That's why I'm thinking like the long term plan. Like she could have just turned him as a kid, but she's not going to do that. Okay, so is she ever going to turn him? We have no idea. But it's probably just going to be a long term companion of sorts that will tire out eventually. Like there's details that you won't know about this unless you like read about it. Like the old man, like we talked before.
Yeah, but you haven't even read the book, and you're talking like you're acting like you know that for sure that he was just some little pet to her. When I don't think that was it at all. I don't think that. I think
I don't care what the book says. I'm going
Yeah.
off of what the movie says.
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. But even going by
And-
that, it's kind of like, okay, well, he kind of, I don't know. They didn't. He was definitely more into her than she was into him. You know,
No.
No, not at
No.
all.
Mm-mm.
I totally think
You-
so.
You don't know how to read women at all. How the fuck did you even get married?
Okay, all right.
She asked
But-
you, didn't she, Jesse?
No, I asked. Okay, no, yeah, he's definitely more into her than she is into him. I would say
No.
so.
She
Okay,
pursued him.
we're back to this. I was ready to move on.
Yeah.
You brought it
By
back,
the way,
Tammy.
By the way, for all the guys out there listening, choose among the women who like you,
Hmm.
because the women that you like, all the guys like. That's a crowded field. Wait till you find the girls who like you, and then pursue those girls.
Yep.
You got a much better chance that way. And she did. She showed an interest in him, and
Mhm.
he was cautiously interested in the beginning, cautiously interested back. You know, he was very shy about it, but not so shy that he didn't share his Rubik's cube.
Mhm.
And what girl doesn't like that?
And I think she was standoffish about the boyfriend girlfriend thing because she said, "Do you do anything special?" Meaning
Oh, yeah.
sex.
Right.
And she doesn't have that for him to penetrate, and that's why she was kind of like, "Ugh." And then when he said no, she goes, "Okay, then I'll be your girlfriend," because then she doesn't have to worry about that.
Right. If they'd been 5 years older, that would have been a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay.
She might have a butthole though. I mean, who knows? They didn't show all that, so
No, it
Right?
did not go. Okay. But as far as, you mentioned pointless scenes. What about the scenes with, that one scene with the dad, where he's there for a little bit? I guess it happens twice, where he's there for a little bit, like he's riding a snowmobile or something, and then he's there again for a little bit, and then some creepy guy comes over, and then they're sharing they have shots, and it was like, what was the point of that?
I think the point if you contrast the two scenes, when the boy and the father are just the two of them, they have a good time together.
Mhm.
But when the dad has buddies over, then the boy's forgotten.
Man,
And you
Yeah,
can extrapolate from that why they got divorced.
yeah. And it kind of shows that he doesn't really have a closeness with his father.
Right.
now that
I
guy
mean,
that
you
came
don't-
in, he was kind of creepy, right? No one picked up on that? The creepy eyes? I don't know.
I mean, shifty more
Yeah.
than creepy. I think to me, it looked like the friend came in and go, oh, what the hell's the kid doing here?
Yeah. I felt like he was more irritated than like
And then it's like,
Okay.
are we still getting drunk?
right.
Yeah, because he didn't break out
Even
the
with-
bottle. Yeah.
Yeah. The dad, you never see the dad, asking the kid about how things are going or giving him any advice or teaching him anything. They spend time together, but they don't really, there's no real transfer of knowledge between the father and the son.
Right. It's like bare minimum.
And there's
Right.
like no discipline there either. I mean, he comes home to the mother after he beat that kid in the head. She's all flustered. Then they get on the phone with the dad, and they're not even talking about it. It's like something completely unrelated.
You know what though?
Yeah, and he didn't even get in trouble with the school, which baffles me because they're such fucking pacifists in Sweden.
But maybe
you'd
because
think-
they knew that those boys bullied him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to work like that. It's like
No.
football, right? When there's a fight in football and the flag always gets thrown on the second guy who throws a punch.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, and there's a million stories like this where bullies go after a kid and the kid stands up for himself and gets in trouble for defending himself.
Well,
Oh,
yeah. Like
a lot of us have
I've
stories like
been
that.
bullied as
Yeah.
an adult. I never was bullied as a child, but as an adult, I have been. And once I stood up for myself, I then became the bully. So yeah, it's very people out. I don't know. People fucking suck. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you
I'm
swing
done.
back and you're the one who gets in trouble. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Oh, and the way that bully cried when he got his ear busted was so funny. I was like, you fucking asshole. You deserve that.
Well, it was like an NBA flop. He was trying to get the foul called on the other kid,
Yeah.
right? He's trying to get the other
Yeah.
kid in trouble. I mean, granted, he was bleeding pretty good.
Mhm.
He got
Good
whacked
hit.
pretty solid.
Good hit, man.
I wish you would have just beat the fuck out of him with it, not just one little hit. But
Well, the mistake that that Oscar made was doing it out in the open
Yeah, he wasn't thinking.
instead of ambushing him by himself
Man,
when there were no witnesses.
but the kid is so naive and gullible. He'll go with anything. Like, of course, he'll do it right on the open. Even at the end, when he already kind of beat the bullies, and at the very end of the pool, right? I guess when the older kids comes and has a knife, he's like, "I'm gonna duck your head underwater." Like, he didn't have to swim up to him. He could have just said,
Right. He could have swam away from him. What are they
Right.
going to do? Jump in the pool?
"They're not gonna ruin their
Clearly not.
They're not gonna ruin their coats. They have some nice jackets on."
By the way, there structurally that scene at the pool is a big problem
All right.
for the story. And let me tell you why. So up to that point, whose story has it been? It's been Oscar's story, right?
Mhm.
He's
Yes.
the one. And the way you can tell it's Oscar's story is that he's the one that's changing.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Now, the important thing for the protagonist to do is to personally defeat the enemy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they made this same mistake in Avatar, where the blue chick comes in and saves her boyfriend from the bad guy.
Right.
But it wasn't her story. And the same thing happens here. So by her, I have no problem if she fights the bullies and protects Oscar 45 minutes earlier, but not at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should have shown him kick their ass or do something because of the buildup of the movie and how he was, like you said, how he was changing.
Yeah.
It should have been victorious for him.
That's right.
I can see that.
It
Yeah.
stole that moment from him.
Yeah, she did.
Well,
But I think that
the
was
writers
an
did.
important part of the movie for her to come back. Like, if he would have done that, then where would there have been room for her to come back for him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he was saved by her. He's the damsel
And
in
like
the
as
distress.
we were saying, SK, that she had feelings for him. I think that was the part of the movie that expressed that the most.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Yeah, it's a tricky thing. I agree that having her come back for him, it is a good. It shows the depth of her feelings and keeping her promise. Actually,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, because she said she'd help him if he needed her to.
right.
Right, she did.
And,
she
and
did
somehow yeah, she did do it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, um, it robs him of his victory that is
Yeah.
necessary as the protagonist of the story.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, off the top of my head, I don't know how you would have both of those things.
It's weird too because you already had him kind of beat the bully, and all of a sudden the bully brings in his big brother in.
Right.
So, it's like, okay, the kid could have just said, "Go fuck yourself" and swim away.
Right.
Oh man. That kid was so nice. He was too nice. Oh god, there's not a spine in his backbone. There's nothing. But I couldn't fault him. It's all right. He was too sweet. He was picked up on time, He had to be saved, SK.
Right. And so he started doing weight training, and that was a setup with no payoff.
Right. He didn't build any muscle. Wasn't able to kick the older brother's ass.
He didn't go to the karate championship.
Right.
So that was another waste.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff in this film that were kind of wasteful too, like that scene with the desk with all those like artifacts and trinkets on there. There was an egg thing. She's like, touch it. Like, there's so much lore there, but like I said, like I think we all said in the beginning, it's like this film just barely even scratches the surface. It's like, okay, there's a lot of material that's not being said.
Right.
I shouldn't have to read the book to get this stuff, But
yeah, that's my biggest complaint about the movie is that, I mean, everything else, I think it was well done and it was different. It's not like a typical vampire movie, which I liked. Same kind of feel with Babadook, like it was done differently. I could appreciate that, but there was just too much left out.
Yeah.
I kept, the scene where she offers him money. Hey, you want some money? Here, hands him a wad of cash, and he goes, "Oh no, you stole that from people." And it's like, dude, you're gonna regret turning that down in about 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, but all in all, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I agree. It was good. I definitely recommend it. It's definitely high up for vampire films. It's not for a vampire drama, a vampire, I guess, slow pace, more story driven film. Definitely high up. Definitely high up.
Now, is there another version of this movie?
There's a remake.
There's an American version, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because I see. Now that I think back, I saw the American version. I never saw the original. So I'm glad that I did.
But I heard that they are pretty identical, but I'm not sure about that. Are they? That's just what I heard. I don't know. You can tell me.
And speaking of Swedish films versus their American version, the Dragon Tattoo series.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
The Swedish one is so much better than the American version. Numi Rapace. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. She does so good in that role.
I gotta check. I gotta check that one out. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. There's an extended version, or at least there was on Netflix. It adds in even more. That is, that's a much more of a thriller type of a story. Highly recommended.
Good movie.
And it moves well.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. But yeah, definitely enjoyed this film. I'd definitely recommend it. We'll watch it again. Any last thoughts? You guys good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. Press the like button if you did. Share, subscribe, and recommend a movie for us to review, and we'll do that sort of thing. All right. Y'all take it easy.